How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the Monday agenda. Let's get straight into the video. So generally when I'm recording the Monday agenda, I have a game at the weekend that I get to sink my teeth into, a game midweek maybe, and then a game at the weekend I get to look ahead to. I do not have any of that this week, so it's going to be slightly shorter, and I'm only going to talk about a couple of things that's happening this week in terms of Celtic. I did do a video on the Celtic management situation, who is the favourite to get the job, and who I think might be a good choice as well. Maybe some left field options thrown in there as well. There's a good debate going on there about Roy Keane as well. I, for one, do not think Roy Keane would be a good appointment. I'm not sure about Chris Wilder. I think Eddie Howe is still a good appointment if they manage to get it over the line. But Enzo Maresca would be my first preference, especially if Fergal Harkin comes on as the director of football. But I think that's going to be kicked down the line a bit until Dominic Mackay is actually in place in June. He's obviously finishing out his contract with Scottish Rugby, so he has to finish that in June. I would say we might be in a bit of a holding pattern until then in terms of the management situation. So if you want to look at that video, check it out. It's on the channel. You can subscribe if you want to get notified for every video that goes live. Today I'm talking about the Liam Shaw transfer because it's been in the news in Sky Sports that Sheffield Wednesday they've opened an investigation into the transfer of Liam Shaw. Now, on first sight, on the headline look, it looks like Celtic did something illegal here. They did not. It's not a big deal. It's not a big story. It's just something that's going on in the news at the minute. Essentially what has happened was that Sheffield Wednesday and Celtic agreed, or at least this is what Sheffield Wednesday are saying, that they agreed that they would not announce the Liam Shaw transfer until it had gone through. So they wouldn't announce the pre-contract agreement. They would wait until summer, they would hold fire, and then they would announce it in the summer once the season is over. Now, that's not what Celtic did, because Neil Lennon confirmed to a journalist in a press conference that Liam Shaw would be joining the club, and then Celtic announced it on their Twitter. So essentially, Sheffield Wednesday are kind of like, what the fuck? We agreed that we would wait until the summer to announce this. Celtic essentially just jumped the gun. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, to be honest. I don't think anything's going to come from it. I think Sheffield Wednesday are just a little bit pissed off. In terms of Liam Shaw as a player, I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen too much about him, but he certainly fits the model that we should be looking for. A young up-and-coming player with first-team experience who has the potential to go on and be a continuous first-team name and then potentially sell him on for more than we're getting him for. So that is the model that Celtic are going on. So if he's good enough, then I do think it should be a pretty good signing for Celtic, and he needs to get game time. He can't be like David Turnbull. He can't be like Ismail Asoro. He can't be like Albion Ajeti. He needs to get game time and give him time to bed into the team and see what he can do, because you're not going to get the money for him down the line if he's not playing first team football. So he needs to get the game time, and hopefully he'll be good enough for Celtic next season. It's going to be a tough one for him, but if he's good enough, then he's old enough, in my opinion. The second item on the Monday agenda is that it is Derby week. Celtic against Rangers this Sunday. And obviously the biggest talking point going into this is whether or not the game is going to go ahead, or whether it should go ahead if the game is a public risk scenario, because you get people from each side gathering outside the stadium in big clusters, and it's a potential risk. Honestly, if you're being sensible, the sensible thing is not to turn up. I mean, really and truly, I'm not going to give my opinion on what happened after Rangers won the league, because I've already done that and I was absolutely slammed by Rangers fans for it. But it's nonsensical at this point in time, where we're so close to a vaccine, we're so close to getting over that line, getting past this shit, and gathering for a Glasgow derby that doesn't really matter because the league's over is absolutely nonsensical. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's a game of football, really. That's where I stand on that. In terms of the game itself, it's quite an important game for Celtic as a club, because the one thing that they can hold against this Rangers side is that they've done an invincible season, and Rangers are very close to that. If they win this game, or if they don't lose this game, then the likelihood is that they will go the season unbeaten, and you have to give them credit if they do that. It's a phenomenal achievement no matter what league you're in. But I would like to see some pride from the Celtic players, at least, to put it up to them, because the last couple of games against Rangers, before the Beaton red card, Celtic were on top. They just couldn't score, and then the Beaton red card turned the game on its head and Rangers won the game. The game before that, Rangers were completely dominant. So I would like to see a game where Celtic put it up to them and give them a good game, because that's really what I want. If they win, they win, but I would like to see a Celtic performance that we haven't seen in the last couple of weeks. It'll largely depend on the starting 11 that John Kennedy goes with, and I think he got his starting 11 completely wrong against Dundee United last week. So I think he's going to need to sit down with his team and think about how he's going to best approach this game. Obviously, Rangers have the Europa League this week as well, so that might play into their starting 11. It might play into their tiredness. This is a huge opportunity for Celtic to ruin the invincible season for them. And I don't really care that much whether they go invincible, but I just care whether or not Celtic turn up on the day and give them a good game. That's what I want. I want Celtic to win this game, and I want them to have a bit of pride in their jersey before the end of the season. Finish the season strong. The season's over. You're fighting for your place in the team next year, essentially. Another talking point going into the game is whether or not Celtic should give Rangers the Guard of Honour. Now, people are going to say I'm biased, and people are going to say I'm bitter. But Celtic should, under no circumstances, be giving Rangers the Guard of Honour. Not because they're Rangers, not because it's a rivalry, and not because they would get loads of backlash for doing it. Because it's a stupid tradition. The players don't give a shit. Honestly, the players do not give a shit whether or not the opposition team stand out in the pitch before them and clap them onto the pitch. They don't care. And Kamara Roof essentially said all of that in an interview with ESPN during the week. They don't care. They just want to get on with the game. The Guard of Honour is there for fans, really. That's what it's there for. It's there for the club to show respect to the champions of the league. There's no fans in the stadium. I, for one, don't think that any team should, under any circumstances, give the other opposition team the Guard of Honour. And maybe that's me being disrespectful to the clubs, but I just don't see the sense of it. What if the players don't care about the giving the Guard of Honour? Obviously, the Celtic players, I don't think, would care about giving it if they had to. If the champions of the club, who are crown champions, don't care whether they get a Guard of Honour, why does it matter? It's a stupid tradition, which I think just drives pointless debate every single time this happens. So why not just scrap it all together? I think it's completely stupid, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Should Celtic give the Guard of Honour? Should anybody give anybody a Guard of Honour in football? I'm not so sure that they should. Is there anything you want me to talk about on the Monday agenda? Let me know in the comments below. That's me for this week because, again, as I said, there's not much happening this week except for the Derby week. I'll be back again. There's a Huddle breakdown coming up this week again, probably on Wednesday as opposed to Thursday this week, but I'll let you know on the Twitter channel anyway, and we will be looking ahead to this Glasgow Derby and probably looking more in-depth at the last one as a reminder of where Celtic were with their performance. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do just hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow and just helps along the way, and you'll get notified every single time a video goes live. Thanks for watching.